Hi guys, how you doing? This is Ben, the Real Estate Pro, coming at you. Hopefully going to kick you some knowledge. So the title of this video is why buyers don't have to pay their agent. And yeah, that is true, or at least partially true. You don't have to pay your agent, and there are several strategies that you can use to kind of get around that. Now, I wanted to kind of go over this article that I found. It's from the Mortgage Research Center, but it's entitled Commission Lawsuit, 6 Ways to Afford a Buyer's Agent If Sellers Stop Paying. The first part of the article kind of goes over the NAR lawsuit and the, quote unquote 6% standard commission and how that's being slashed. And then it goes over into how much does a buyer's agent cost. And let's go ahead and read here. So up until now, first-time buyers have been blissfully unaware of how much their agent costs. The answer, typically 3% of the home price, which is generally true. It could be 2.5%, but if you buy a $400,000 house, your agent costs $12,000. You don't realize it because the seller pays it out of the home proceeds. And that's how it's been for a very long time, for like 100 years. And that's how it is right now as of March 27, 2024. But that's going to change here coming up probably in the next few months. Like I said, the post-NAR settlement world, okay? Now imagine that the bill comes to you. What do you do? Most buyers don't have an extra 9 to 15 grand on top of the down payment and closing costs. Even with a down payment, 3% down payment, you will buy your bill, to buy a $400,000 house. I cannot talk right now. Could be $35,000 or more under the new paradigm, including agent commissions, down payment, and closing costs. So if you take the 12,000 from the example away up here, then you're looking at 23 grand. That's just closing costs and down payment. And then you have to come up with another $12,000 to pay your agent. I can see how buyers are going to have, well, I think they're going to pause. And I think a lot of agents don't realize that this is going to be an issue. Because before an agent could even show you a house, they have to have you sign something called a buyer's broker agreement. And on it, it'll spell out the scope of the work that you agree to with that buyer's agent and how much they're going to charge you. Now keep in mind that you're the one with the cookie. You're the client. You're the fiduciary. Do not be afraid, okay, to let them know what you need and what you're willing to pay. Now, the first thing that you can do is obviously negotiate agent fees, okay? Perhaps the best tool to pay for your own agent, if it comes to that, is to negotiate their commission. This is entirely acceptable and will become the norm. Buyer's agents will be open to negotiation as their commission opportunities dry up. Check on norms in your market when the time comes for you to buy. It's difficult to predict how buyer's agent commissions will change, but the standard 2.5 to 3% is unlikely to remain. As a buyer, you have a decent leverage to offer a much lower fee. And that's absolutely true. Guys, don't be afraid to tell your real estate agent that you're interviewing what you're willing to pay. Now, they can decide what they're willing to do for whatever that amount is, but I think you'll be surprised at what type of savings that you could have from a 2.5 to 3% commission and get the services that you need. Just be strong. There's plenty of agents out there. There's only one of you, okay? So just don't be afraid to negotiate a little bit. Tell people what it is that you want. And like I said, you're the one that's in the power position. You're the one that can dictate what happens moving forward. And look, if you find an agent and they're just not willing to deal or they want a certain amount, go find another agent. It's your money. Like I said, there's plenty of agents out there. And a good some of them are going to be able to help you and get you a really good deal on that. Second thing, save more. Just save more money. Just wait a little while. Put some more money away. Maybe wait about the next 6 months, maybe a year or two. Just save a little bit of more money and get that money up so you can pay a buyer's agent commission. Gift funds. This is something pretty popular when you get a loan on a house. You get gift funds. Maybe family member, friend, or somebody that's willing to gift you some money in order to be able to help you buy a house. And then the other thing is watch for new loan programs. If new commission standards sweep the U.S., it's possible that major lending agencies will respond. Programs like FHA, VA, USDA could offer new rules that allow you to roll the cost of your agent into the loan. Now, presently, you don't have that ability to just roll it into a loan. There are some seller concessions that I'm pretty sure that you could use to pay a buyer's agent commission. The problem with that is, typically seller concessions are used to buy down interest rates, maybe make repairs on a home, pay for some closing costs, or pay all your closing costs. And that's what they're traditionally for. They're not for typically paying a buyer's agent commission. So you might find yourself in a situation that whatever seller concession that you're getting is all going to be used up by your agent, and you're still going to be left with having to come up with money in order to pay your closing costs. When, had you handled things a little bit differently, or if you had maybe, negotiated a fee or a little better fee for a real estate agent, or if you found another alternative, you could have used all those, all the seller concession for your, like to buy down your rate, which will save you, trust me, save you tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars on your house over the course of your loan. So there's just, to me, in my opinion, seller concessions should be used for that, for your actual loan costs, not necessarily the buyer's agent commission. Me personally, it's just not something that I would recommend as a loan officer if you can avoid it. Okay. Um, so these agencies' primary goal is affordable homeownership. As such, they have allowed flexible guidelines to allow the greatest number of people to buy, which is true. For example, the VA does not require a down payment, and FHA loans are available to buyers with credit scores down to 500. Now, you're going to have to put down a heck of a lot more than 3.5%, but it is available. It would not be surprised if these, plus Fannie and Freddie Mac, devise options to help buyers finance agent commissions up to a certain limit. Now, I will tell you, as a loan officer, most people in the mortgage industry are against this. They don't want to see buyer's agent commissions being able to be financed into the loan. Now, there are some tricks you can do to do that might work, but the problem with that is it could possibly affect your loan. It could affect your payment, and it might even affect your ability to even qualify for the loan to begin with. So it's not something that you really want to do, is roll these costs into your loan, not to mention the interest that you're going to pay. I mean, a $12,000 commission could turn into $24,000 over the course of the loan, and that's money that is going to be coming out of your pocket. Do you really want to do that? I would say to think twice. Maybe look for another alternative. Number 5, hire a real estate attorney. To save money, some buyers may end up hiring a real estate attorney for a flat fee. Keep in mind that the attorney only prepares the purchase contract and may review title. They can advise on issues with the home, market analysis, or negotiate with the seller's agent. For some buyers, though, the solution may be all they can afford. You can do this with an agent as well. I think it's probably better to find a really good agent, negotiate a low fee, and they can provide these same types of services just like an attorney can. For instance, let's say that you found the house that you want. You just need somebody to put in the offer and then take you from there to closing and provide you strategies that'll get your offer accepted, or at least increase the likelihood of getting your offer accepted. And that's something that I would be more than happy to talk to you about if you have a property that you already want to buy, or maybe maybe it's a family member, you want to go ahead and purchase that house from your family member. You don't necessarily have to hire an agent, but you can, and if you do, you don't have to pay a big enormous fee, 3%, 6%, or anything like that. I would negotiate a flat fee if I were you. And, if you live in the state of California, Arizona, and you're in a situation like that, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help. Now, the last thing, number 6, is find a seller who offers a buyer's agent commission. How the real estate commission lawsuit plays out in the real world is yet to be seen. It's not clear the sellers will be banned from paying the buyer's agent. And you know what, guys, they're not. A seller can still offer what's called cooperative compensation to the buyer's agent, which would relieve you as a buyer of having to compensate them. Okay, and that's still going to be around. That's not going to go anywhere. However, we're going to see a lot more sellers that aren't going to want to do that, or in some cases maybe can't. And you have to think of it this way: is you are going to have you are going to be competing potentially with other buyers on a particular house. And then, one of the ways that you can make a deal a little bit sweeter for the seller is to not have them pay buyer's agent commissions. Maybe, you can afford it, or, afford to pay it. Maybe they find some other alternative way of going about the transaction that doesn't require the seller to pay a buyer's agent commission. That's just going to increase their bottom line. So it's going to vary, but like I said, we're not going to have a shortage of these types of transactions. Just because they're offering it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a solution. It's just another way of going about it. Now, let's just start preparing now. Obviously, if you were looking at purchasing a home in the next few years, you definitely want to put some money away, work on your credit, um, you know, get your bills in order, that type of thing. Now, one thing that I will add, I'm going to call this number 7 to this list, is in some states, in many states actually, you can find what's called a hybrid LO agent. I just happen to be one. Uh, I'm able to do real estate transactions as well as provide you the funding as a loan officer to get you the loan to purchase your house. And in states like California, where it's really easy to do, my brokerage in California is actually set up this way where you have real estate agents that also have loan licenses that can provide you the loan that you're looking for. And then on top of that, provide you the buyer's agent services for a very small fee or no fee at all. So that's another solution where you don't have to pay your buyer's agent commission. Now, you'll have to check with your state, see if there's places that are going to be that are set up for that. But I'm going to say that we're going to see a lot of this because just in the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of people, a lot of agents reach out to me and say, "Hey, how do I get my NMLS license?" I've also had loan officers reach out to me that were interested in getting their real estate licenses, and it doesn't take very long to get those. It doesn't take very long at all. A month, maybe two, if you really work at it, in order to be able to do that. Now, you might ask yourself, why would an agent get an MLS license? I don't recommend that if you're an agent that you get a loan license and try and do both. But what I do recommend is if you do get your NMLS license, you can partner up with a really good loan officer as long as you're properly licensed and the brokerage you work for is properly licensed as well. And you can share in NMLS or you can share in loan fees. That's just another conduit by which you can be paid. And it's an advantage that you can have or you can put out there for marketing purposes. I mean, could you imagine going out there as a loan officer with a real estate agent team and saying, "Hey, come to us. We'll be more than happy to get you a loan. And guess what? You don't have to worry about buyer agent commissions." And they get the representation that they need. It's not a bad idea. You're definitely going to want to check with your local state laws and your area, see what's out there. But like I said, these are some things to think about. And guys, especially if you're a buyer, I just want to say, and I just want to impress upon you guys, that you are in the position to command what your agent does and how much you want to pay. There is absolutely no reason for you to pay whatever that agent is requiring of you. If you feel that it's too much, call another agent. And like I said, if you just happen to be in the state of Arizona or California, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help you as long as you live in those states. There's definitely some way that I can help you. All right, guys, thanks for listening. This has been the Real Estate Pro, and we'll talk to you next time.